Hi, my name's Helen Zahos. I'm the national focal point for Gndr in Australia, as well as the Health and Disaster Risk Reduction Advisor for the Commonwealth Business Women's Network. I've been asked today to answer a question for you here on the global platform. Now, Cbwn have actually put a statement up on the global platform on this topic, on gender inequality in DRR. So I encourage you to read that, but I will answer this question. Firstly, though, I will quickly mention that awareness around gender inequality in disaster risk reduction is not new. Well, it's fairly new, probably the last decade, probably the last 5 years, definitely. It has been a topic or an issue that keeps being raised now at a global level in meetings on disaster. It's appearing more and more in strategies and frameworks. And what I mean by that is the Sendai framework back in 2015 talks about an all-inclusive approach to disaster risk reduction. And also earlier this year in Nairobi, the Commonwealth Women's Affairs Ministerial meeting addressed gender issues or raised gender inequality as an issue in disaster risk reduction. So that was a topic that was discussed there. Our very own GNDR as part of their strategy. So if you look at for 2020 to 2025, have actually identified gender inequality as one of their 6 risk drivers for disaster. So I applaud them for including that in their strategy. So it's a topic that, more and more is becoming recognised as an important topic, and we really, really need to address this. So there's an awareness there. We are talking more and more about it. It's, appearing in our strategies. Why haven't we acted on it, or why aren't we acting on it? What are our barriers? So our barriers, I think, only just briefly, is that it's cultural. Historically, it's been men that have dominated the disaster risk reduction space, or disaster in general. So whether we're looking at, men sitting at the table, developing strategies, formulating frameworks around disaster risk reduction, whether it's men dominating the first responders or the initial response to a disaster. So, this is a historical trend. This is nothing new. We know this. So how do we change that culture? How do we change this trend? I think we need to look at our own organisations. We're all part of different civil society organisations being part of GNDR. And I challenge you to look at your own organisation and have a look at who is sitting at the table making decisions around disaster risk reduction. Are there women there? Do you have women leaders around you? Do you have young up-and-coming women that you can mentor to put into leadership roles in the future, or even to put into a disaster risk reduction role and encourage them to move up into a leadership role one day? Mentor them. So I think that possibly could be the first step. But I think the best thing that we are doing is, we've raised awareness, we're talking about it, it's on the table, it's in our strategy. And I look forward to 2025 in 5 years' time and seeing how far we have come in gender inequality, and perhaps bridging that gap that does exist in disaster risk reduction, looking at it through the gender lens. So thank you very much for participating on this global platform, and I'll hand you over to some other people that have some questions to be answered. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the week during this global platform. Look forward to working with you all a little bit more closely too. Thank you. Take care from Australia.
My name is Lisa Fabian, the Executive Director of Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce and the Network of Caribbean Chambers of Commerce. I believe that localization can certainly be an enabler of gender equality. One may ask why. I believe this is true because when opportunities are viewed at the grassroots level, we are better able to determine its impact. It has been agreed at the UN Global Platform on Disaster Risk Reduction in May 2019 that voices of women should be included at the grassroots level and localized to enable gender equality. You may ask, what would this look like? This could be seen through initiatives which are taken at the local level, which includes the private sector, community-based organizations, local government, academia, among many others. Think for a moment at the grassroots level and through these organizations and institutions that you may be aware of. Are the opportunities greater there for the women at these local levels, or is it more easily seen through the global levels? I believe that decentralization and localization of resources and also the allocation of these resources reflect the true value of investing in prevention and resilience. I also propose meaningful engagement of all women in the disaster risk processes at the local levels, as this will create more opportunities for other women to be able to be supported through the same. If women are at the center of decision making and implementation, the approach is more likely to be gender informed, inclusive, and transformational. Thank you.
Drivers of risk. One of the major barriers to risk-informed development, which interconnects with all other drivers of risk, is gender inequality. Unless development is systematically gender transformative, we will see disasters placing women into intractable cycles of poverty. For transformative progress to be made in the reduction of risk and strengthening of community resilience, a focus on gender inequality is critical when understanding the drivers of risk, identifying points of focus, and designing and developing different activities. It means ensuring that women who face risks and are in vulnerable situations are empowered to provide solutions, demand rights and services, and increase access to information, and to participate in decision-making processes.